Hey there, in this video I made an anti-mage build that takes insanely little damage against all attunements. For example, in the clip playing now, you can see me getting hit by a load of shadow mantras, including Eclipse Kick and not taking 2 bars total. This build works against all attunements as I'm showing now, and has high posture damage on top of that to make it even tankier. It will also work fine against normal builds and not only mages. I'll actually show you not only how to make this build, but how to make an anti-mage build that suits your own personal playstyle. I made this build mainly for ganks because I found it so annoying having those 90 intelligence mages that hit from a mile away and do 2 bars per mantra and ruined every gank for me. And now with this build you can finally kill those mages without a problem, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. But first, I have something important to say. I'll show you all how to make this build right after, I promise. But I have made it a Discord server, link in the description. Be sure to join to chat, chill, and ask me questions. And also, it's a server for Mizu, a new guild I created. Me and some friends worked hard to get a completely maxed guild base. As you can see on the screen now, 1.4 million notes in the treasury. And that's not even all of the 1.8 million notes it took to max. I bought all 12 rooms, and then even bought the arena on top of that for 500,000 notes. And then this is the final guild base layout. So, be sure to join the Discord server, and if you want, you can also join Mizu. But you don't have to join Mizu to join the Discord, of course. Link in the description. I hope to see you there, and I plan on doing some videos in the future with Discord members. So maybe you could even be in some of those videos. Okay, so to make an anti-mage build that suits your own playstyle, there's 4 main things to consider. That is your oath, your weapon, your stat, and then, most importantly, your equipment. Out of these 4, we will look at them all. The first one we will talk about is your oath. There is 3 good choices for your oath. Firstly, Blind Seer for Tranquil Circle. Secondly, Dawnwalker due to reducing the effect of elemental statuses. And lastly, Silent Heart for its incredible mantra resistance. Out of these 3, you can go for any. However, I chose to go Silent Heart to be as tanky as possible. Silent Heart provides a default 10% mantra resistance, then Dread Stacks for 15% more mantra resistance, also Manikatsu to teleport to your enemies to apply pressure, and then Vengeful Pursuit for ranged pressure as well. Now that we have addressed our oath, let's look at our weapon. You can really pick any weapon you want, but you should make sure it applies a lot of good pressure, so that mages can't just keep distance and spam ranged mantras. For this reason, I went for a Nemesis First Light, with good range and Nemesis to apply pressure. You could also go for the normal Nemesis Curse Thief, which is very good too, but it's really up to you, and that's just what I went. Now that we've addressed our weapon, it's time to look at our stats. Of course, stats are highly dependent on what build you choose. But there is 2 talents you must have to fight mages. That is Reinforced Armor, to reduce mantra repairs so you don't take a ton of damage, and Return to the Dark Ages as well, because 20% less mantra damage taken. But apart from those 2, it's more or less purely dependent on your build. Once you have finished with your stats, it's time to talk about equipment, the most important part of making an anti-mage. Using my kit, I managed to get around 60% resistance to most elements, and almost 550 HP. And this isn't even a perfect kit, you can get better. For your armor, make sure to get Ignition Deep Galva, since it has 35% elemental resistance. As for the specific equipment I used, we're going to want to go to Primadon for a Vigil Hood that can have up to 18% elemental resistance on it, then a Cataclysm Pendant with 3% elemental resistance and 13 HP, and then lastly Star Boots with up to 30 HP. You can get these really easily from Primadon. Like in one Primadon, I got an absolute load of them, as you can see on the screen. Okay, so once you have those pieces, all that's left is your arms equipment. I would recommend an Iron Singer Heavy Plate that can have up to 18% elemental resistance, But if you really want to min-max, you can go for a Diver's Light Plate that can have up to 19% elemental resistance, but it will be easier to get an Iron Singer. After you have gotten that, the last part of your equipment is your ring. Most of them are dependent on your build, but make sure you have a Congas since it enhances your mobility and therefore pressure. And if you don't have all of their gods, make sure you have a Ring of Pestilence. Alright, now that we're done with the equipment, let's have a quick summary. We have addressed what oath to go, we have decided on a weapon, picked our stat, and finally we have gotten the best equipment. Alright, now that the build is done, all that's left to do is look at how to use it. Against mages, you simply need to keep applying pressure so they can't keep distance and abuse ranged mag. However, you will be weaker against physical damage based builds like Cyberpunk. One way to counter this weakness is to simply swap your Iron Singer or physical armor instead of elemental armor. This will reduce your elemental armor, however, it will increase your physical resistance. This will be better for Chimes, especially since you fight all sorts of builds. However, the reason I chose to go for elemental over physical is because people can get insanely high physical pen really easily. However, getting high magic pen is much harder. And that's why, in my opinion, having elemental armor is way better to go for the physical. And even with a full elemental kit, you'll still have 30% physical armor minimum on this build. Alright then, and that's all to this build. This video took me 15 hours to edit, so if you enjoyed, please subscribe. Bye!